right? Alright. Good after morning. You know, I haven't been on here for a while, but maybe I've been on here, I don't know. I got enough footage to last a while. Why can't I find the damn grease rag? They're all over the place when I don't want them. Oh well, whatever. Grease rag. I'll show you what I'm up to in a second. So, I'd say okay so, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so, this is a motor. This motor is for the Baler, the idiot block builder. And I'm just looking at it here. See this little guy here? There's some, I don't know if that's got an oil buildup on it or what, but it won't go. So I gotta fix this. I think that there was grease that got in and actually insulated the brushes so that it won't make good enough contact with the armature. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I've done. If you look in here, let's see if I can get you. Hold on a second. Let me get you up a little higher. I don't need to be that low. So if you look in here, there's like little tabs in here. Right in there. Well, maybe you can't see them because it won't focus. There's little tabs. Well, one of the little tabs broke off in there. That holds the brush. And the brush has to go, the motor armature goes in there like that. But the little tab broke off, which the little spring will then slip out to the side and it won't make good contact. So you're not going to be able to see it, but I drilled a little hole. In there. You might be able to see it all the way through. And I'm going to take this cotter pin, this guy, and I'm going to slide it through there and basically do away with the little brass tabs that are in there because they're useless at this point. So what I got to do is cut those off. Then there's still some shavings in there. When I drilled it, it's kind of a delicate thing to do, but you got to do it if you want the thing to work, right? Well, don't want to do it that way, do you? Okay. Get little bits and pieces in there. Go to the old standby. Starting fluid to blow it out. What a pain in the ass this is. Pain in the ass to get this to go in there. I really thought that it would go right in. Oh, there it goes. There she goes. See? So now I got that cotter pin in there. See? So now my spring will go in there. I'm going to take this fancy pants picker I got here. I'm just going to bend. Alright, getting the idiot block builder ready to go. And if you don't know what the idiot block builder is, I'll take you over and I'll show you. It is a New Holland 570. Alright, 570 I think. New Holland 570 Baler. I bought this on July 5th, 2002. Yep, July 5th, 2002 was my birthday. And our old Baler was just in bad shape. Needed a new one. So that was the day that we chose to go buy this. I remember I paid $16,200 for it, brand new. It's got a 72 thrower on it, which has been reliable. I mean, they do break apart here and there. You'll see that I've welded bits and pieces, like this piece of tin here, and like right here I've welded in there. But yes, it's a model 72. I did have an issue. Ow, bitch, it hurt. I do have an issue underneath there with the electronics for the bale thrower, which is no big deal. Let me find that thing. this thing right here. You saw me fixing it earlier. This is $158 for this piece. It's just basically a windshield wiper motor, but it's meant for the it's meant for the thrower. It speeds it up and slows it down. I have debated on getting a stack wagon of sorts to do this job with. You know, if I'm going to make idiot blocks again, which I do usually make a few idiot blocks every year, but this baler's been having issues. And I just kind of want to explain what these issues are. Before I do that, though, I want to go show you what I'm actually replacing. Over the years, I have actually just sharpened these. These are the blades for cutting the hay as it goes into the bale chamber. These things really need to be pretty darn sharp. They can't be dull, and I generally do change them. I do change them from time to time. This is probably the third set of these that I've put in. I was just going to sharpen these, right? Just going to sharpen them up. I told Timothy, I said, hey, get them off of there. I want to sharpen them. And these actually aren't terrible, but like that piece there, you can see it's rounded. It's broke. It's not broke, but it's not in good shape. And this looks to me like a tine of some sort got in there a couple of places, and they match on the other side, just pieces of metal. The crazy thing is, Tim's like, well, this is no good. It's broke. And I don't know if you can see it, but I think you can. There's a hairline fracture across the whole piece there. Let's see. Just like that. So the whole thing... We were not going to sharpen it because it was broken. You can see that it just had, oh, right there. That was the only bit that was holding the whole thing on. Just that little 1/8 inch wide by 1 inch long little piece. And it's broken here too. You can see it right there. So, yeah, they actually give you new bolts. Well, they don't really give you anything, to be honest with you. They don't give you anything. What you get is what you pay for. And what I paid for was those two metal pieces, those two blades, and I got to laugh about it. You buy those two blades and these 6 bolts and nuts and shims that are in here, right? And you pay $360 for them, or $380 for whatever the hell it was. So those two pieces of metal are almost $400. Right? Just to cut hay. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine today, Sparky Mark, and he's selling hay. He said, I'm really getting sick and tired of competing with these little rich kids down here that seem to have more money than God. They buy brand new tractors, and they're in competition with one another to see who can sell hay for the least amount of money and bale the most hay and sell it for the least amount of money. Kind of crazy, but that's what they're doing. And my friend, he's like, I'm running old equipment. He says, except for my baler. He says, I keep the baler and the mower new. He says, I'm selling hay for less than what I sold it for 10 years ago. I says, yeah? I said, really? I says, I'm selling hay. I sold hay 20 years ago for $5 a bale. He says, well, I'm getting $6 a bale. I says, but your baler cost you almost $40,000. He says, yeah, it was $37,000 for the baler because he bought a new baler. $37,000. Like I just stated about this baler, I bought it in 2002. There's nothing different, very little difference between this baler and a brand new one, except it's not dirty and it's new. You know, this is a 570. It's not the 575. He bought a 575. Well, it's the next morning. We have counted out the shims. We're going to start baseline with the old shims. And Tim is going to go ahead and turn this thing. And I've got the one in the back shimmed. And he's going to turn it very, very slowly because we don't want it to collide. It has to be very close. Close. Oh my goodness. And I honestly think it's too far apart at the bottom. Keep going. It is hitting at the top. All right, roll it back. So, I'm thinking, hold on. So, it's just touching at the top. which means we have to take a shim out, which is a real asshole, and then move it to the bottom, or just take a shim out at the top. And what did we end up with? Yeah, we got too many in the top.
Yeah, you took
and not enough. You sure you did this the right way?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's opposite to me.
No, that's how much was in there.
Well, I understand that's how many were in there, but the top is going to hit and the bottom is nowhere near. I'm thinking like the space between the top and the bottom, I think you got them upside down.
Well,
So I'll take the ones out of the bottom. I'll put the top ones in the bottom, and then we'll slide that. We'll try it that way.
You put 7 of the thick ones in there, and then the rest of them.
We didn't put any thin ones in. I take one out of the top and put 2 into the others so that they're all the same, and then we'll try it.
Okay.
All right, so I got to take that all out of there again because it's a pain in the ass. All right, we're going to climb in here. Tim's got his light in here. It's a little Haribo or some damn thing he's got. See how close that is down in there? If you make it too close, there's wear on these things, and you don't want it to get, you pull it across like that. You do not want it to collide in there. Because if it collides, it destroys the knife, makes a mess, and you have just a mess. So you don't want it to collide. It's got to be close enough to cut it, but not too close that it'll collide. And, you know, it should work really well. It's just going to, yeah, you don't want it to collide. So we're good. You can stick one of these in here. This is the old shim. The old shim is the best way to check it. You throw that in there. As long as it just slides in there, you're good. So that's the thickness. I could get my feeler gauges in there, but that's kind of stupid when you've got one of these already. This is an old shim. I'll save those shims. They use those things in a lot of things, like for combines, you know, when you're checking, what the heck do you use them things? Oh, for setting the rasp bars and stuff like that, which I'm going to have to do anyway because I got wheat that's got to be cut. And but I'm going to pull this back out, not pull it out, but I'm going to slide the plunger back or forward so that I can finish tightening up the knife, because you got to have it tight. If you don't have it tight, I mean, I've got it tight, but I want it really tight. The scary part of it is getting my hand caught in it. I don't want to get my hand cut. So let's. So I've pulled the knife all the way back now. You can see. Well, at least you might be able to see. Who knows? So there's where it is. And this is a great big opening, so it can stuff a lot of hay in there and then compress it. I do have a plunger dog spring there that's bad. And I have not been happy with the way this thing has been working. The last year when I bailed with it, I just couldn't get a... What the heck? I couldn't get a square... I couldn't get a square bail to save my life. I'm going to try and do this without getting hurt. Yeah, I couldn't get a square bail to save my life. So what was the problem? Well, a couple of things. And I'll probably just deal with this thing. I don't want to get hurt, you know. So that blade will just fuck your day up. Maybe end up in the emergency room. I'll show you what happened. I'll get Tim's light here. It's pretty simple. I got too much junk in here. Pretty simple. If you can see down there at the hay wedges, I don't know, can you see in there? You can see in there. You see all that kind of rust, but you see up there it's kind of shiny. There's big clumps on both sides of this thing that were built up. They were built up with crud. Now, I knew there was something wrong. I wasn't 100% sure. I had a pretty good feeling that that was the issue. So when I had Tim get this thing out, I told him, I said, look, get it out, clean the bales out of there, and see what's going on in that bale chamber. Now, you really want those bale chambers to be nice and polished and shiny, and it will shine up when I start doing this alfalfa. that'll shine right up because that's kind of sticky stuff. So when I do that alfalfa, we're going to punch out a bunch of little bales. I'm hoping to have like 2 to 5,000 bales. I probably won't do that many the first cutting, but the second cutting, I definitely will be doing more little bales than big bales because they're more valuable. So I just want this baler to be singing a song, you know, running really good. And in order to do that, you have to make sure that the knife is good. You have to make sure that the plunger's in good shape, which it is. And you have to make sure that your plunger dogs or hay dogs are working. Now, there's 3 plunger dogs on the bottom. One, the middle one's not there, and then 3 is over on the right-hand side. But there's only 2 up there. I don't see a third one. Oh no, there's 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. The bottom ones are really pretty important. Well, they're all important, but the bottom ones, if that isn't there, the hay, it'll spring back. The hay will go in, and it'll spring back, and then when it's stuffing that hay in there, it'll interfere with the hay going all the way to the other side of the bale chamber. And if that one's missing and it interferes, you don't get all the hay to the right-hand side of or the left-hand side of the bale. So I got to fix that, which isn't any big deal. It's just a backer for the plunger dog spring. So, but the top, even if the spring is broken, gravity will help them to come down. So I just got to make sure that they're all right, and I'm going to climb under there. I've got a piece of cardboard here. Let me go under there. I'm pretty sure I can show this pretty easily. That's in the way, but it's going to hit me in the head. So you can see right there. Oh, there's a bunch of shit in here. Okay, I guess it didn't get cleaned up very well. Tim. Yeah, all right. So there's let me get under there. So here's the plunger dog, and the spring is there, see it? Well, on the back here, there's supposed to be a plate. And that plate, I've broken one off before. They're just not on there very good. You can see that there's a plate here, no plate there, and there was a repaired or replaced plate over there. So 2 of those have been broken in the past. I noticed it last year when I was baling that it had broken, so I'm just going to get a piece of flat iron and I'm going to get underneath there and I'm going to weld it on. I'm going to take that plunger dog out, which isn't terribly hard to do if it's not rusted all to shit, but yeah. So you just kind of pull that pin, this carter pin. I'm just going to lay everything on the ground here, and then you pull this pin out here. That one's got a bolt in it. So whoever did that one put a bolt in there for some reason. And this has a new plunger dog in it. So now you can see that it's just broke off. So I'll get a new piece and I'll weld it from the back side. I'll have to clean all this dirt and shit out of here. But I'll weld it from the back side so that I have all 3 plunger dogs there. All right, before I start to weld this, I'm going to get it set up. So I'll take my camera and I'll put it under there. I got a pair of vice grips. I've got the welder here. And I'm going to clamp it on with a pair of vice grips, and you can see me do that. I'm thinking, maybe not, who knows. We'll find out when I get there. I'm hoping that I can set it up that you can see what I'm doing. I do have my glasses on. Let's see, it's going to be the center one. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'll get that set up. Using the snap-on one because it's a gas one. Oh yeah, look at that. So if I could just get that thing to hold on like that, you know. Okay, it looks pretty okay to me. Looks pretty okay to you. I'm hoping it does. So I got that on. Oh, I got a few problems with this thing. But I'm using the R Captain because it's a flux core on this one. I'm not using the gas, and the gas the gas on the snap-on one will, let me get a good ground here. It will blow away. Well, I wouldn't say it would blow away. It's not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to penetrate the, paint with it. So, because there's paint. And flux core, if you didn't know, flux core can handle the paint a little better. Jeepers. I did have my very fancy pants thing over here. So the flux core will actually cut through that paint, and I'd be able to weld quite nicely to the back of it or to the bottom of it. So that's the plan. And then I'll put everything, once it cools down and I'm past the threat of fires, then it'll be okay to go ahead and put it all back together again without burning myself. Because, you know, we just love to burn ourselves around here. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, something. And the crazy thing is, I can't see what I'm doing. It would help a lot if I could see what I was actually doing. You guys can probably see better than me. But this little R Captain welder, if you're looking for a good welder, cheap welder, this is the way to go. They're what? Yeah, don't use the flux, don't use their welding supplies. Use the gun,
Use the welder, not their material.
Yeah, use the welder, not their materials. It will, he's right, 100%. 100%. Yeah, so I can take that off now. And yeah, because I did do that. I put their stuff on, their spool of wire in there, and it was just absolute junk. No good. Waste of time. You couldn't get it to weld right, burn through little thin stuff. But you can go to Tractor Supply and get yourself some Hobart flux core wire. And I actually have a big 3 or 5 pound spool, and maybe it's an 8 pound spool in there. Yeah, I think it's an 8 pound spool. And that worked. That worked very well. Oh my goodness, I can't see worth a damn. Let me go get my light. If I put a light on it, then that'll make it better for me to see the weld. Now, I'm trying to do this stuff. Trying to do it blind. There, now you can see a little better, right? All right, there it is. So I'm far enough away. There, cool. When I get that thing welded on there, I'll put it all back together, and hopefully, beyond all hope, it works and stays working. Just gonna make sure I'm getting a good bite on it. I don't know. I might have to go to the other side. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I can't even get my damn arm in there. There it is. Let's see what we got. There. See, whatever New Holland used for steel on this thing was very flimsy. Very, very flimsy. And it broke out on 2 of them. So I can't imagine that third one is going to be in very good shape, to be honest with you. Nope, something happened. Oh, there it went. I'm sure somebody's rooting for me to freaking set this thing on fire. Where it belongs. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's where it belongs. So there, that's it. I was like, how could I put that up there wrong? Everything seemed to work right. Yeah, sometimes, well, I was upside down, that's why. I guess when I'm upside down, everything else is upside down. And yeah. Yep, all three of them back in place. Cool. Let me get my camera here, and that's good. That's good. Woohoo, we got it. So now that's fixed. Yeah. Yeah, so this woman, her name is Susan, I can't remember her last name, but she sent me several things. Her and her husband are farmers, and I think he worked at a place and he's going to farm full-time now, which is tough. But she sent me that, and she also sent me another thing, and I've been gonna talk about it, and I just haven't had the opportunity because I've been super busy. She also sent me this hammer. A hammer, right? We've used it, and I can show you the Mars on it. We've used it, both sides. This is a tire hammer. I don't know how good it's going to be. I know that it works. If that handle breaks, which I suspect it will, I will take it off and weld a steel one in there, because the head is good. It's just the handle, I think, is a little anemic. Okay, so we got new knives in. I got my plunger dog fixed. Tim has greased some of it, not all of it. I have to get in here. I have a bent piece that needs to be dealt with here, and I'll show you what that is. It's not difficult to deal with. My phone is underneath there somehow. Right here, let me flip it around. Right there, right in here. This piece here got bent somehow. I have no idea how or why, but it's bent. And I'm either going to leave it the way it is, or I'm going to do something with it. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not hurting anything, and I've baled a lot of bales with it like that. But I got to grease all this stuff, so I'm going to do that, and then we should be ready to go when the hay is ready to go. I have to go spray today a lot of acres. I got to do wheat and I got to do beans. So I'm going to get onto that thing right now. So thanks for watching this little video of me welding my baler back together. It wasn't long. It was maybe only 20 minutes. So there you go. I have to come up to the top. Those will never break because they are up against this big heavy piece of steel here. Let me see if I can get you to see. You can see down in here. They don't ever break because they're up against this backing plate. You'll break springs and you'll break plunger dogs, but you'll never break that plate. So those are just some of the problems that you have with these little balers. I don't know how many tens of thousands of bales we put through this thing, but I'm hoping to get enough alfalfa. When I say enough alfalfa, I'm hoping to bale somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 bales. And, you know, if it's good. If it's not good, it goes into a big bale, and it's easier to handle for the guys out west. No little bales will be sold from this farm or wherever. I am not dealing with horse people. Horse people can kiss my ass. It's going to go out to the dairies out in Lancaster County. That's where it's going. So that's the deal. That's what I'm doing. That's what's going to happen. But I do have a few things that need to be done, like that little motor that I was working on, wherever the heck I put that. I think I'm going to play with it a little bit more. But it's $159, $160 for that stupid thing. And they were going to order it probably tomorrow, or Monday, I mean, and it'll be in sometime next week, about the time that I need to start really baling. And we'll knock out a few thousand bales. I think I got 6 or 7 wagons here, and I might even rebuild a wagon in the meantime. If we get some rain, I'll just get the sawmill out and start rebuilding a wagon. I'll mill some lumber and life will be good. But anyways, there you go. And I have to pee really, really bad.